ladies and gentlemen, the House has passed the bill to require proof of citizenship when registering to vote, and 198 Democrats tried to block it. Yeah, interestingly. The House approved a measure Wednesday to require proof of U.S. citizenship when registering to vote, a measure strongly opposed by top Democrats. A majority of 216 Republicans and 5 Democrats voted to pass the Safeguard America Voter Eligibility Act, with swing district reps Henry Cuellar of Texas, Vicente Gonzalez, Jared Golden, Don Davis, and Marie Gluesenkamp Perez among those crossing party lines. Now, for those that are watching live, I will say I stand corrected when I said Democrats march in lockstep with their party. In this instance, swing Democrats actually did defect, but it wouldn't have mattered anyway because Republicans were definitely going to pass this. And also, it wouldn't matter anyway because it will die in the Senate, or actually, it'll never make it to the Senate, and Biden would veto it anyway.
With those 5 that crossed party lines, just before that, those 5 voted with all the Democrats to keep that bill off the floor. So my opponent's one of those 5. But when the bill came up for the procedural vote to put it on the floor, every single Democrat, including those 5, voted against it. And then once it was going to be on the floor, leadership approved the 5 swing districts who are vulnerable right now. I'm up in the polls. Let them vote with the Republicans because, like you said, it's going to die in the Senate.
Yep.
And that way they can go home and say, look at the things that I do.
He's lying about me. I don't want illegal immigrants to vote in our elections.
It's interesting because it would be nice to see authenticity on this issue because I think it does affect all Americans. I mean, we talk about illegal immigration in terms of crime. It affects every American in terms of the crime. You talked about the drug trafficking across the border, the effect it has on the area you live in. There have been reports that, African-American voters are saying, hey, this is actually disproportionately affecting me because you're making it so I'm having a harder time with employment. There are challenges that I'm facing because of this. I mean, I think people have a more nuanced understanding of the complexity of allowing illegal immigration to flood across the border. And so it would actually behoove a lot of Democrats to say, hey, we take the verification of who is participating in the election seriously because we know it really could affect you and affect your life. I don't think that has to be like some sort of weird race issue. I mean, even the White House, when they condemned this act, were saying one of their complaints was it'll make it harder for Americans to vote, as if Americans can't produce some sort of ID or verification that they are citizens. I mean, it's just so ridiculous that it's obvious why they want this bill to go through.
But when you are registering to vote, typically, most people through the DMV, you have brought your piece of mail, your birth certificate, and your social security card, and your credit cards with you to get your ID in the first place. The idea that you could not produce any of that to register to vote, but you have to get an ID. It's just bonkers.
It doesn't make any sense. That's how threadbare the defense against it from the White House was. And again, it stands to reason that there are Democrats who, I think you're right. They probably all were like, well, I really need to vote for this because of my constituents. But hopefully there are at least some of them that can see the logical thread of like, no, it's worth verifying who is voting in the elections. Asking for proof of citizenship isn't a racist act. It's just, hey, you should be a citizen here to vote in the country. That's who gets to vote here.
Yeah. Like 2 years ago when we said that Biden opened up the border to flood the country to skew the census numbers so that they could get more allocation of U.S. House of Representative seats, they could get more electoral college votes, they could eventually get these people to vote. They said that we were conspiracy theorists, we were racist, we were horrible. This is the second vote where they've proven exactly what their intent is. A month ago, the Republicans put forward a bill that said only American citizens would be counted in the census and only American citizens would be counted when it comes time to allocate U.S. House of Representative seats, electoral college votes. All the Democrats voted against that. So this is now the second time the Democrats have said they basically want illegal immigrants and non-American citizens voting in our elections, completely and totally disrespecting American citizens and our ability to choose our own government.